Welcome to Intermediate Accounting 1. I'm your instructor, Professor Lori Dunn. So, I bet you're wondering, what is intermediate accounting? Well, it is one of the most important and time-consuming courses for an accounting major, even within your 4-year program. You will be in Intermediate Accounting 1 reviewing the accounting cycle, relearning and adding to the balance sheet, income statement, statement of owner's equity, and the statement of cash flow. And then looking at various assets and learning not only what you learned in Accounting 1, but kicking it up a notch so that you learn it at an accountant's level. Things like cash, receivables, including accounts and notes, inventory, and your plant assets, property, plant, and equipment, as well as intangible assets. So that will be the focus of Intermediate Accounting 1. Now, how much do I have to really study? A lot. You should spend a minimum, and this is minimum, of 12 hours per week reading, and yes, you do have to read, preparing, reviewing, and learning the material for this course. Don't expect to open up your book the day before an assignment is due and cram it all in to spit out the homework. First of all, you don't want to do it that way because this is your major. You want to learn this stuff. But second, it's impossible to do it and leave that chapter understanding the material and more probably important to you, being successful grade-wise. So throughout this presentation, we are going to talk about the requirements of the course and how important it is that you focus on this course and study really hard for it. So let's go and see what's in store for you. First of all, when you sign into Blackboard Learn and access the course, which you've already done, you will come to the home page. On the left-hand side of the home page is the course menu. You click on course information. That is where all the information, core requirements for the course are housed. So that's really where you will always go. Within the course information, the very first folder is your orientation folder, which you've already opened because you're watching this presentation. You want to make sure you complete all the requirements in the course orientation folder, including reading the course syllabus, which I just have the first part of it in front of you now. It tells us what the course is, how many credits it is, and that's actually 3, and the prerequisites. If you have not completed Accounting 112 at this point, you should not be in this course. I've probably already detected you and the school has contacted you, but we all make mistakes. So if you know I did not complete Accounting 112, you need to go and see your counselor. The course description is what we were just talking about. It presents the conceptual framework of accounting, the accounting environment and information processing systems, financial statements, present and future value concepts, and emphasizing the balance sheet contents including cash, receivables, inventory, and plant assets, including intangibles. So please read through the course syllabus so you can be familiar with the specific goals of the course. Now, the next item in your course orientation is the course outline, and this you must read. This has all the important information about what is required of you, how you will be graded, and other important information. First of all, in the first part of the course outline is the contact information for myself. Professor Lori Dunn. My office is situated in Building 7 on main campus, room 701J. My phone number is presented and fax, and my email. My office hours are Monday and Wednesday 11:05 to 1:05 and Friday 11:05 to 12:05. I prefer meeting you in person on campus. But if this is not able to be done, I understand, people work. We can also meet via phone or Blackboard Collaborate, which is a meeting area here on Blackboard. So all you need to do is contact me, and that's the key. Communication between us, especially in an online environment, is very important. I ask that you stay in contact with me, especially if you have issues throughout the semester. Don't wait and tell me, I've been having this problem for 3 or 4 weeks now. Tell me as soon as it's happening. We'll get it resolved. The next important area of your course outline are your purchasing options for the required material for the course. Please keep in mind, and this is our very last line on this slide, your book and access code you are purchasing will be good not only for Intermediate Accounting 1, but Intermediate Accounting 2. So you will not have to purchase anything, assuming you take Intermediate Accounting 2 in the spring. Please keep that in mind. Now, option 1, which when you look at the course outline will be in much bigger print, is the book and the access code. We use the Connect course management system, which is McGraw-Hill's course management system for this course. So you can buy the book and the access code together at the LCC bookstore. And the ISBN given there is only available at the LCC bookstore. This book and access code should not cost you more than $120. I have a special access code or ISBN from my publisher to be able to give you this purchasing option. If you are able to acquire a book in some other way more cheaply, I encourage you to do that. Maybe you could rent it. I think the cheapest way, though, will be through the LCC bookstore. You would also need to purchase the access code for Connect, which runs about $140. That's why I feel the first option is probably your best. But if you want to go to the second option, you may do that. And the ISBNs there are presented for the book and the access code. And then finally, your third option is no paper book. You just purchase the access code for Connect, and you'll have access to the e-text. Remember, e-texts run out. And in Intermediate Accounting, you want to keep this book beyond your college years. I still have my Intermediate Accounting book, and I took it 32 years ago. Just food for thought. If you have any questions on the required material, contact me. What kind of course technology will we be using? Blackboard Learn is always your starting point. That is where you can access all information that needs to be completed. And that really should be the only place you go to complete work in the course. We'll show you on a separate presentation how to register for the Connect website. You will be able to access all information on the Connect website through Blackboard Learn. Optional softwares are Excel and PowerPoint. Because I give those types of files within Blackboard, you should probably have access to them, as well as Adobe Reader. Now, Excel and PowerPoint, I know you have to pay for. Adobe Reader is generally free, so that's why I make them optional. If you have any technology issues, if it is with Blackboard Learn, you contact the help desk at LCCC immediately. You don't send me an email. You send it to them. If it's with Connect, you'll see we have within that presentation a phone number and an email to contact them. I do not provide any type of extensions because you had technology problems, unless they were beyond your control. If you have proof you immediately address them, I will provide an extension. But if your computer breaks and it's being fixed, that's not an excuse. If you waited to contact me or the help desks, that is not an excuse. There'll be no extensions or special considerations. So please keep that in mind. If your computer breaks and you're getting it fixed, you have available to you computers at the main campus and at the satellite campuses. But it's up to you to contact them to find their hours. You should go and complete your work at those places. You also have public libraries that allow you to use their computers there. So there's no excuses for technology. Now, you are already in Blackboard, but there's just an image of Chapter 1's folder in the course information area. You notice each chapter will have within it all the items you must complete. It's up to you to read that and make sure you complete each one. I don't want any excuses as to I did not know I needed to do that. I spell it all out. You're expected to complete all the steps. So we're going to go through each one of those steps now. When you begin this course, you should read a chapter at least twice. The first time you read it, you do it to get a feel for the material. It's a different kind of reading than what you're used to in your accounting books. It's written in accounting language. So you're going to have to take your time to really absorb what they're saying. The second time you read it, you take notes, you make outlines, you take your time and really try to process the information. There are PowerPoint presentations available in each folder. You may want to download those and use those to take notes, but you should read it at least twice. You'll read it more, but at least twice. The next thing you should do is listen to my lecture. I created a voice lecture for each chapter using the PowerPoint presentations that are accessible on Blackboard, but are actually YouTube videos. So you don't need PowerPoint to watch or listen to them. You should at that point, and it's optional, I don't have it on here, I'm sorry, yes I do. It's after the discussion board question. At this point, if you have any major hangups with any of the material, or even minor hangups, or just have comments about it, questions about it, you need to post at least one. You'll probably have more, but at least one question on the discussion board for that chapter. And you must also respond to another student's posting. Now, please keep in mind, these postings become 5% of your final grade. So a posting is not considered, yeah, I really understood this chapter. Great. No, you are expected to address an area of the chapter and ask a question about it. You're not going to understand everything. So you're expected to do that, and you're expected to give a thorough explanation and answer to another student's question. And I don't want questions like, what is a balance sheet? That's obviously explained in the chapter. So that is not the purpose of this. It's to ask a question on the material that you just can't understand from the book. I will be checking these discussion board questions and also responding to them. You also, and this is optional, should review the end of chapter questions. At the end of each chapter's reading materials, you will find end of chapter questions for review of key topics. and brief exercises, which are actual little exercises testing you on the problems. I encourage you to do as many of these as you can. The answer keys for these are provided within Blackboard Learn in that chapters folder. Now you're ready to work on your Learn Smart activity. Learn Smart is a part of the Connect system actually. There's a link in Blackboard to this activity. It's comprised of various questions from the chapter material and will require you to first give a feel for how you feel you know the material that they're asking you about. You will be answering questions and moving forward through this activity. It should take you approximately, it may take less, it may take more, 30 minutes for each chapter. You're not timed on it. I'm just letting you know an appropriate, approximate time. Each Learn Smart activity is worth 100%. And I'm going to show you at the end of this presentation how your final grade is calculated. The average of your Learn Smart activities from the 9 chapters we'll be covering will become 10% of your final grade. There are due dates. They are listed separately and within the chapters folder, and there's no extensions for any reason. Then, after you work on that, you're going to work on various end of chapter exercises. Now, when you go back into the course orientation folder, you will see assignment listing with due dates. Within that assignment listing are the various exercises that I would like you to work on. These are not part of your final grade, and I do not grade them. They're meant to prepare you for the next step, which is practice problems. Each of these exercises should be completed on paper. I will be providing some templates in Blackboard to help you complete those, such as journals, general ledgers, trial balances, or other specific types of templates. So watch for them. They'll be in an Excel format. You can print them or Word format. You could print them or you can download them and use them to complete your exercises. But these are not completed in the Connect website. I have prepared a voice lecture reviewing all these exercises to provide you step-by-step answers on how to solve these exercises. You should and they're also in YouTube area. They're really an MP3 file, and they're accessible in the course information area chapter folder. You just click on it, and you could click on that voice lecture. Now we're getting to practice problems, and practice problems are just that. These are actually completed in Connect. There could be 2 or 3 per chapter, and they're listed on that assignment listing. There are no due dates listed for the practice problems. You could take them as many times as you want. You're not timed on them, but you must attain an 80% or better on them to advance to be able to complete the graded problems, which are part of your final grade. So you must complete the practice problems at least an 80% completion. That's correct in order to gain access to your graded problems. Once you are comfortable, and at this point you should be, with your information from the chapter and have completed and scored an 80% or better on the practice, you should then access the graded problems, which are actually being completed within Connect. But the link is in the chapter folder in Blackboard. You have 2 attempts on a problem. The first attempt, you're not going to be able to see, check your work, do any of that. You're going to go through the attempt. It's going to come back and say these items are wrong. You then can take a second attempt and revise the problems that are incorrect. If you take a second attempt and you score higher, that grade will be used as your final grade of that chapter's graded problems. These have strict due dates. There's no extensions for any reasons. Please plan your time accordingly. You will lose 10 points per day or part of that the graded problems are late. No exceptions. Once you've completed the graded problems for a chapter, you will then take a 20-question multiple choice quiz. You're expected to have mastered the material by the time you take the quiz. You have 45 minutes to complete it, and you should complete it in one sitting. You will have 2 attempts per quiz, with the higher of the 2 scores being used as that chapter's quiz grade. Quizzes will be averaged together at the end of the semester for 10%, and 10% of it will become a student's final grade. If you complete the quiz after the due date, you will lose 10 points per day or part of on that quiz. No exceptions. The final item in each chapter is extra credit. Extra credit is part of the Connect system. You will have access from Blackboard. What you'll basically be doing is listening to a video and answering questions about it. The maximum points awarded per chapter for completion of this is 2 points. These points will be added to the test grade for that chapter's test. Extra credit will be due by 11:59 p.m. the day of that test is due for that chapter. There's no extensions for any reason. I strongly urge you to use the extra credit as a tool for preparing for the exam for that chapter. You'll also see noted on the outline a one-time extra credit opportunity. 10 points will be added to your first test grade if you join the Pennsylvania Institute of Certified Public Accountants. Instructions for doing that are on the outline. I strongly urge you to take advantage of this. It is free to join. You are then considered a student affiliate and have the same benefits as a paying member of the PICPA. Then you can list yourself as a PICPA student affiliate on your resume, which is an incredible thing to be able to do to show you care about your profession and you wanted to be in a professional organization while in college. Now, exams. There will be 5 exams during the fall semester. They'll all be taken online. They are actually on the Connect website, which you'll be able to access every exam from Blackboard Learn. There will be 2 chapters per exam, except for the last exam. The final exam is only on 1 chapter. You have multiple choice and problems on the exam, and you will have 2 hours to complete an exam. Please pay attention to your time limit. If you do not complete the exam by the due date, you will lose 10 points per day or part of it is late. If you have any type of scratch paper work that you want me to take into account to provide partial credit on problems, you have 20 minutes after your test submission to email it to me via the Blackboard email. So I encourage you to take advantage of this. You'll be doing a lot of work, I know, on paper, and if you do one little thing wrong, it could impact your score on your exam since it's being automatically graded. So please take advantage of that. 20 minutes you have. If you email it to me after 20 minutes, I will not take it into consideration for partial credit points. Your 5 exams will be averaged together and become 40% of your final grade. The final item that will become part of your final grade is a project. It's actually a practice set where you'll be demonstrating your complete understanding of the accounting cycle. So basically, it's a company, a very detailed account of a company where you will be providing all of the information of that company's accounting cycle for 1 year. I have provided an Excel template in Blackboard for you to complete the project. you are encouraged to use that. You do not have to complete it within Excel, but it is encouraged that you do. Why? Because accountants use Excel. If you don't know it now, you need to learn it very soon. So please try using the Excel template, complete your project within the Excel template, you'll save it, and then you'll upload it into the Dropbox provided in the project folder. The project information is also within the project folder. And the project folder is on the course information area at the very, very end. So you have to scroll all the way down to find it. Your project is due December 9th at 11:59 p.m. I say this every semester. Don't wait to start. It is a comprehensive project, and it will take you more than an hour or two. It takes hours to complete this. So please, I'll send you reminders throughout the semester in the announcement area. Please get started. When you finish chapter 2, you can start this. Just at least start taking a look through it. Any kind of questions you may have, you please make sure you email me. This project becomes 10% of your final grade. Now, if you would prefer to print off the Excel template and complete it handwritten, that's fine. You can scan it and send the scanned file via the project Dropbox, or you can drop it off at my office in Building 7, Room 701J by the due date. I will not accept any projects after December 9th at 11:59 p.m. So those are all the major requirements of the course. Your exams are 40% of your final grade, and I'll show you in a few seconds what I mean by that. Your graded problems will comprise 25% of your final grade. Learn Smart activities 10%, quizzes 10%, project 10%, and then your discussion board postings are 5%. Notice a lot of this stuff, exercises, practice problems, they're not part of your final grade, but they help you get to your final grade. I will add up all the results of those percentage calculations, and that will become your final number grade for the semester. And then based on your number grade, a letter grade will be awarded accordingly. So let's take a look at an example. Let's say a student completes the tests and some extra credit, and they receive the following. On test 1 an 80, 2 a 75, 3 a 40, test 4 an 80, test 5 a 90, and they did 6 points of extra credit. Those 6 points will be then added to whatever tests they correspond to. So what I'll do is add up each test and those extra credits. 80, 75, 40, 80, 90, and the 6. That totals 371. There were 5 tests in this category. I divide that by 5. So your test average was 74.2. And that's how I determine the average of each of those categories we just talked about. I take your individual grade from each assignment in that category, add them up, and divide it by the total number of assignments in that category. Then I apply the applicable percentage weight to each of those averages. So there's the exams, 74.2. Well, they comprise 40% of a student's final grade. So I multiply that by 40%, 29.68. Let's say a person got a 75 on their project. Well, there's only one assignment in there, so that's their grade. Multiply that by 10%, 7.5. Let's say the students average on all their graded assignments. So I added each graded assignment, that's the problems, final score for each chapter up, divided by the total number of graded assignments, and I got an 85. 85 times 25%, the students' weighted average for that category, 21.25. Same with the Learn Smart. Add up each Learn Smart activity grade for each chapter, divide by the total number of Learn Smart activities. In this case, they got 100 on every one. So 100 times 10%, 10 points, or 10 points of the final grade are attributed to Learn Smart. The quizzes, again, added up each grade from each chapter quiz divided by the total number of chapter quizzes that were taken. A 90 average times 10%, 9 would be the amount of points from that category. And then participation. If you posted and answered a student on each chapter's discussion board, you would receive 100 for each chapter. Divide that by the total number of chapters, which is 9, and you would have 100%. Times 5%, 5 points. Then you add each of those results together. So the 29.68 plus the 7.5 plus the 21.25, the 10, the 9, and the 5, 82.43. That is the number of your final grade, which would be a B in intermediate accounting. So if you have any questions on that during the semester, please let me know. But that is how I determine your final grade. You will be able to access all your grades in Blackboard Learn by using the My Grade function. Now, one thing to keep in mind, I do not do a running grade. A lot of people are used to that, but I do not. My grade book is set up assuming all work is completed for the entire semester. So I get this all the time. Somebody will email me, I got 100 on my first test and it says that my total average is a 20. I say, yeah, because if you didn't do any more work for the rest of the semester, that would be your grade as of right now. So you'll see that total grade keep increasing throughout the semester. If you want to know your grade at a certain point in time, you have to go through the exercise I just discussed in the last two slides, using the grades you know of as of right now, the point in time you want to determine your grade. If you ever want me to double check it, I will. But what you have to do is do the calculation, show me the detailed calculation, and send it to me, and I'll let you know if you did it right or wrong. Some other items discussed that are very important on the course outline are plagiarism and cheating. It's not allowed. It's going to be very hard to do that in this course, but we do need to present it. If I feel there's any kind of cheating occurring, especially on exams, the first offense will receive a failing grade on the exam, the assignment, the project. The second offense, an F in the course, and you will no longer be allowed to attend the course. You don't want the stigma of being a cheating student, so just don't do it. Contacting the instructor. I ask that you do all emailing through Blackboard Learn. You just select my name as the recipient for the email and send me the email. I have many classes this semester. I have 2 sections of intermediate accounting. Some of you may be in my tax accounting course as well. I need to know who you are and where you're emailing me from, what course. If you send me from a personal email, I won't answer it. So make sure you email me through Blackboard Learn. My email policy. Because this is an online learning environment, you are required to check your email daily. Get in a habit of checking it at a certain time, at least once a day. Now, it has to be the email address that you are known by in Learn, because I will do all my emailing via Learn. So if you're not sure how I know you in Learn, email me and ask. You will not be excused or provided an extension for not properly assessing information that was sent via email. It's up to you to make sure that the proper email address is being used in Learn and that you check it daily. Again, this is read right out of the outline. I will also check email daily, even on the weekends. So you can expect a response from me within 24 hours. Tutoring. Tutoring services are available. I'm not sure to what extent they have them for intermediate accounting, but if you have any, if there's any students who are still attending LCC who took intermediate accounting, they may be available to tutor. If not, I'm it. Let me know, or I could provide you with a service that could provide external tutoring at a fee. Accessibility services. Students who require assistance in meeting special needs are provided support in a variety of ways. Students are required to discuss these needs with their counselors, provide appropriate documentation, and follow the procedures outlined by the college. And there's a link in your outline for accessibility services. Some other information, the last day to drop this course, not that you're going to, but just to keep it in mind, is November 2nd. And this outline is subject to change. So just some of the points that were brought out in the course outline. So what else is there in the orientation folder? Well, you should see an assignment listing. It's in a PDF format. Download that. That is all of the exercises, practice problems, and graded problems I talked about with their due dates. Those due dates are due dates for all the chapters. So everything has the same due date, and the exam due dates are on that as well, and the project. So that's a great item to have, that you can create a calendar of due dates, and I strongly encourage you to do that and time manage properly. You could introduce yourself, and you should, on the discussion board. There's a link there. We just want some information about you, right? Like who you are. Of course, I'm probably assuming your major is accounting, but that's my assumption. You might just be crazy enough to just take the class for the heck of it, and that's great. Or maybe you're just coming back to take it because you want to sit for the CPA exam. So let us know who you are, why you're here, and some interesting fact about you. And I'll post about myself as well. The final thing you need to do is email me. And there's certain requirements you have to list in your email. So please read everything. Read that and email me. It's basically saying you completed the orientation, you understand it, you've asked all questions, and you're ready to start the course. You have yourself in Connect and everything else. And that will complete the orientation. Then you're ready to get started. Now, I'm going to be ending this presentation for now, but in a few seconds, I'm going to be doing my presentation on registering for Connect. So please make sure you listen to that as well. If you have any questions, any problems, any future problems you see may happen, you need to contact me. We need to keep a strong line of communication with one another. I welcome you to the course. I wish you the best of luck. I will give you everything you need to be successful.